It's me, Bussy, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be covering some legendary tea spilled by LaBeija. Cat, boom. Looking at the latest news involving Crystal with AS's ongoing lawsuit over in the UK, and rounding out the latest All-Star 7 Drag Race drama, which includes what Shea says she was really told about one of those ball categories, and the latest on the Violet versus Raja boot controversy, and how the drama's wrapped up and why Violet says that she would never do an all-winner season. And finally, we'll be discussing why Alaska isn't on All-Star 7 and listening to how she really feels about the situation. But you know what's not glamorous at all? The amount of money that I was throwing down the drain on subscription services before I started using TrueBill, the all-in-one finance platform that helps you save more and spend less. Here's what happened. Last fall, I signed up for streaming services because I wanted to watch a specific TV show, and I thought I had canceled it before I even ever got charged. Lo and behold, the truth was revealed with just a couple of taps on TrueBill. In the recurring section of their app, there it was. They had been charging me $10 per month for the past 7 months. And you better believe I had canceled on that subscription quicker than you could say yes, God, and tongue pop. That's right, you can cancel unwanted subscriptions right inside the TrueBill app, which, by the way, you can start downloading right now by clicking the link in the description of my video. But the savings don't stop there. TrueBill can also help you to lower your monthly bills for things like internet and cable. Just upload a photo of your bill inside the app, and TrueBill will take care of negotiating the cost of your service with the provider, which, by the way, can save you an average of $200 per year. And TrueBill can also help to monitor your credit score with suggestions on how to improve it. TrueBill has revolutionized the way I manage my finances, and you can check it out for free or unlock more features with premium by heading over to truebill.com/bussyqueen or clicking the link in the description of my video. Thanks TrueBill for saving me money and sponsoring today's video. Got a lot covered today, so let's get started. First up, Aja and a guest appearance from Bob the Drag Queen on Legendary. If you aren't familiar, this is a reality TV competition series over on HBOMax, which showcases groups of performers in houses participating in challenges that represent ballroom culture. The show's in its 3rd season, and Aja has been competing in the house of LaBeija. And quickly, I do have to put a spoiler warning in here. If you don't want to know the outcome of the episodes, then go ahead and skip ahead to the next section. But Aja's run on this season did come to an end on episode 5, the anime ball, which also featured Bob the Drag Queen as a guest judge. And by the way, oh my god, Bob looks amazing here. But the hot tea and drama came in after Aja's house elimination, where she said this on Twitter: "Our team could have been cast better. I said what I said. I knew this would happen from the beginning, but happens. But I was fab and on point and ready always. We should have been in charge of casting our own houses. No shade, not the production." And in response, a user on Twitter to Aja said, "Wait, y'all don't cast your own houses?" To which Aja said, "Nope, we would have stormed." And later said, "Last but not least, love everyone on my team, but I should have been mother." And this tea is interesting because from a ballroom perspective, I don't think it really makes a whole lot of sense to have a TV crew decide who is going to be in which house. But from a TV production perspective, it would probably be really difficult, if not impossible, to fill up this show's entire cast roster with groups of houses that were pre-designated by real life people. I mean, this season alone has like 50 cast members across 10 different houses. But some interesting tea nonetheless, and I also just want to say congrats to Aja for her run on this show, and also congrats to Bob for getting that guest judging spot. And next up, an update on Crystal's lawsuit over in the UK. So this actually started back in the fall of 2020. For some quick backstory, let's take a look at her tweet from October of that year. She wrote, "Here we go," with a note attached. "On Sunday, I criticized Laurence Fox for his views regarding Sainsbury's celebrating Black History Month and their commitment to making positive steps towards racial equity. In response to my criticism, Mr. Fox seriously defamed me. I have instructed Mark Lewis of Patron Law to sue on my behalf." Laurence Fox, by the way, from what I can tell, is an ex-actor and current political activist, according to his Wikipedia page, and found out that he holds some, in my opinion, very extremist views. But that's not the point of today's video. The defaming in question that he allegedly did to Crystal was calling her and 2 other people that are named in the lawsuit P-words. But according to attitude.co.uk, Laurence requested to have the trial judged by a jury, and that jury trial request was denied by the judge overseeing the case. And as a result of that, the judge ordered Laurence that he has to pay Crystal and the other 2 people £36,000 to cover their legal fees. And then the real gag at the end of the article is that he apparently is already in the hole to the tune of over £116,000 trying to litigate this situation. And while this does at least sound like a small victory for Crystal and the other 2 involved, the case is still ongoing, and the article from Attitude says that the next hearing is this autumn, so hopefully will hear more soon then. Now let's move on to our all winners. This week's ball episode from All Star 7 was really awesome. I covered it in my hot or rot, and that middle category before and after even became a bit of a meme online. Bob the Drag Queen even created a before and after chain on Twitter for people to respond with their favorite ideas for the category. Eve 6000 wrote Mother Teresa Giudice. Alyssa Edwards says her hands. Someone wrote Regina George Washington, iconic. Millie Bobby Brown Cow stunning. Oh girl, not this. Trinity the Tucker Carlson. Ooh. Trinity wrote, oh god, not him. And then there was some other good ones on the Reddit RuPaul's Drag Race thread. Somebody put Lala Rio de Janeiro. Missy Elliott with 2 T's. And possibly one of my favorites, Courtney Act a Fool Girl.
Act a fool, girl. Act a fool.
I'll leave my entry here. Give me more for Gemini. Nobody appreciates my humor like I do. Anyways, it's been a lot of fun seeing everybody's interpretation of that runway category online, but Shea chimed in saying this. Fun fact, my original idea for the before and after runway was Janet Jackson Pollock, but I was told by production that we couldn't use celebrity names, but could only use fictional, non-licensed characters. Imagine my shock when I saw everyone else's before and after looks. Jackson Pollock, by the way, is a famous American expressionist abstract painter, and Janet Jackson, well, if you don't know Janet Jackson, I'm sorry. Where have you been? And she followed that tweet up with a list of everyone who used actual celebrity names in their runways. RuPaul Charles II, Olivia Newton-John Waters, Cardi B. Arthur, Bob the Drag Queen Elizabeth, Princess Diana Ross, and whatever happened to Baby Jane Fonda, with Shea finally landing on the concept of Gold Tooth Fairy. And she said about it, low-key, it became one of my favorite looks because I got to conceive this fictional Banshee fairy from the ground up. And then Evie oddly replied to Shea, writing this, bitch, they told me the exact opposite, and then later sent an update saying I could do made-up stuff if I wanted. And this was very, very interesting. And it kind of caught me off guard because typically Drag Race is totally fine with using celebrity names. I mean, just look at Snatch Game. So I guess stay tuned on this one because I'll be curious to see if it happens for any future runways. And finally, the latest on the Violet Chachki versus Raja boot controversy. That pun didn't really work. We can pretend that didn't happen. But in my hotter route for the All Star 7 ball, we did cover how all of this got started, and we left off with Monet basically telling everybody none of the queens were actually that mad about the situation and were just joking among friends. Since then, though, we had Bob quote tweet Monet, and she wrote, "Speak for yourself. I haven't stopped crying since FPR came out. I've had to call off 3 gigs, and I don't know when I'll be able to return to work. I currently have an IV in my arm, and I'm in the ICU being treated for exhaustion. But I'm glad you think this is so funny." And Peppermint replied, "What's FPR?" Raja, though, on Instagram posted a photo set containing her ball looks, and in the 5th photo tagged Gottmik on a picture of herself and Violet. We love a little subtle shade. And under that post, she wrote, "Happy #Sunday Fun Day. I have personally groomed John for editorials in a few publications, including GQ. I know how thin that stash is. Instead, it looked like lip liner. Special thanks to Amazon for that Olivia Newton-John look." She also tagged the designer of her Vanna White dress and thanked Delta Work for her perfectly finessed wigs. And concerning Violet herself on this whole situation, she did say a little bit about it in the latest Roscoe's viewing party for All Star 7 Episode 3, which was co-hosted by Violet and Gottmik. Naisha asked Violet if she would do an all-winner season, and this is what she says.
If they were to ask you to be on this gig, would you be on it?
After the last week I've had, absolutely not. I think I would like to distance myself from this franchise as much as possible.
And I kind of heard that as her joking a little bit at first, but then she elaborated saying this.
I don't think so. I said I would go back for this one previously. I mean, I change my mind all the time, right? But it's like I have anxiety just watching it. I remember like it was the hardest thing I've ever done. Is that show, and like the anxiety I had around the whole thing, and then the backlash, the criticisms, the fans, the passion, the like trying to prove yourself, like trying to be like just like I don't need that right now anymore. I've already done that.
And I'll say it's definitely a bummer to see Violet saying that she wouldn't do an all-winner season now just because of that drama, especially because it wasn't even that real of drama. Plus, I mean, who else is iconic enough to actually go viral for booting a look? Like, not only did she get everybody talking about her, but now she's also got everyone's eyes on Fashion Photo Review, a win for her and the brand. And I kind of thought about it, and I think maybe one of the reasons that she did get so much backlash from from this situation is because this all-winter season has no villain edit. There is no queen being framed in like this drama light that we typically see in every season. So I think the little drama-hungry fandom is like looking for anything to cling to, and they found it in Fashion Photo Review. But I do have to state again, there's no need to harass anybody for having an opinion about a runway look. Next up, hi! Concerning Alaska, a lot of people anticipated she would be on an all-winter season because she is such a powerhouse of a competitor, but she's not. Here's what she had to say about not receiving the invite on her podcast Race Chaser with Willam.
This season, I was very apprehensive going into it because when I wasn't asked to be on it, I was very, very emotional and I was very, very like hurt and sad by that. So I was like, is this going to be too hard? Is it going to be just like really difficult for me to even watch it and talk about it?
And honestly, I wasn't super surprised to not see her on the show considering the cast we do have. They're all winners, baby. But the show, from a TV perspective, has an interest in casting a dynamic range of performers that are all good at different things. Willam argued that the show was waiting for Sharon to be able to come back to TV for them to cast Alaska.
They want you competing against Sharon Needles, and Sharon Needles is not allowed on TV right now because people will scream and protest. Maybe in a few years, you'll be back to compete with her because they want that personal relationship between you two on display. The same reason I was not asked to be on All Stars when Fifi was not allowed to be there. You know, the stakes.
And I do think that could be a possibility. It certainly would be a compelling storyline considering they are exes. And I'd additionally argue that from a casting perspective, that Alaska fills the same slot as Trinity and Shea. They're all three extremely good at winning drag race challenges. Plus, I don't know that the show would want to pit, for example, Jinx and Alaska against each other since Jinx already beat her in season 5. However, the obvious counter argument to that point is that Monet and Trinity won together. So I'm not sure what to think there, but I would love to know what y'all think down in the comments below. What kind of cast do you think that they will surround Alaska with in the future, provided they do, of course, cast her on a second all-winner season? But that's all I've got for you today, and as always, I want to thank you for watching today's video and give an extra special thanks to today's video sponsor, TrueBill, the all-in-one finance platform that helps you save more and spend less. You can check out by clicking the link in the description of my video or visiting truebill.com/bussyqueen. I also want to say thanks to my patrons who make my channel possible and give a special shout out to Adrian Burwinkle, Aiden the Individual, Alessandro 420, Angel, Cyrus, Daniel Drummond, Dark-Sided Otter, David Webb, Vicky, Felicia, Frankie, Hector Simancas, JB Jeffrey Joseph, Josh Marchant, JP in Dallas, Laura, Kyle Hermes, Lisette, Louis Labrador, Ruff, Mark James, Matthew Burns, Matthew Bauer, Maxila Wow, Michelle Yorbell, Miss F, Neely, Sailor, Steven, Topher, Billy, and Will and Ton, who are all supporting me at my Bussy Queen Collector tier. See y'all later. Love ya. Bye.